Hi, for my first non-expose review, let's take a look at DC All-In Special. The Alpha story is written by Joshua Williamson and Scott Snyder, drawn by Daniel Sampere, and colored by Alejandro Sánchez. The Omega story is written by the same writers, with art from Wes Craig and colored by Mike Spicer. There is a central spread, which is where the two stories converge. Or not converge, and that the it is drawn by Dan Mora and is colored by Tamra Bonvillain. So, full spoilers ahead, so you're forewarned. In the aftermath of the Absolute Powers event, the heroes of DC Universe realized that not having a Justice League was a mistake, and so they banded together once more to form a larger, more inclusive, expansive Justice League Unlimited, pretty much like Avengers World, to pull from a more familiar place for me. Hi, Future Tyler here. 52 days later. That is a nice bit of reference there to previous DC reboots. I never really know Booster Gold as a character, and this issue gave me a very concise introduction to him. I could not really say if the characterization is on point, but I feel for him in just a couple of pages. So kudos to Williamson and Snyder. Also, everyone should have a skit with them. The best wing AI anyone could have. I smile every time skits say something that is meant to be self-complimentary, like when it says, one of your best, with respect to Booster's dramatic entrance, or when it's knocked about Booster Go losing it. So, while everyone is invited to join JLU, not everyone is of the same tier, right? Judging by the membership card for Booster. He has limited access and is of tier Gamma. So tier 3, assuming they are members of like tier Alpha and Beta. Um, Regardless, he was delighted and honored. And Superman, who handed him the card, sort of not tell him everything so as not to diminish the moment for him. I mean, if Brewster is one of seven, that is a huge honor. But if he's one of 70 and is tier 3, that kind of takes some of the shine away. Yeah. And then Darkseid struck while everyone is on the JL watchtower. It was pretty confusing when I first read it. I'm not sure what Omega Beams does or what's the burnt holes on the pages, revealing something that I assume is important, like what that represented. I recognize that one of them is a new god and one is a guardian of AO, but I do not know the rest or what that meant. Well, I mean, that is the part of the second story, right? The physical book is the flip book, which is why those burnt through panels were inverted, as was part of the dialogue in the previous page. So here is where the two stories converge for the first time, and the reason for that is not revealed until you get to the flip story. So all you know at this point was Darkseid merged with Spectre, and there was a search of some sort. Okay, um, I have to say the whole reverse magic speech thing is kind of annoying. I mean, trying to figure out what Superman was saying took a bit of work, and like not fun work. So something happened, and Darkseid ripped a hole in time and space, I guess. Um, and the multiverse was shut off for only 52 days. Um, anyway, Booster like jump across the rift on a recon mission and find himself separated from Skids and comes face to face with a version of the Legion of Superheroes. I only recognize Saturnger in that double page splash. And there is a Daily Planet building with an omega sign, on it. It also implied that something changed in that the heroes in the main DC universe do not remember Booster Gold entering the rift, right? In fact, they jump back to the moment before the dramatic entrance, which I assume did not happen in this new version of reality. Um, Also note that the Boosters Gold's Legion ring, shown close up twice in this issue, now has an omega and star symbol instead of a L and star. So when I get to the flip story, that was when I realized Darkseid was short ahead. Uh, and this story started 52 days prior, which is at the exact moment when Barry Allen like cut off the multiverse. Um, this is the only important point from the Absolute Powers event that is needed to understand this issue. Anyway, Darkseid felt a surge in powers after the multiverse was cut off, and he built a miracle machine to force bond with Spectre to figure out why. Why the Spectre? I do not know. Um, and it was the Spectre while resisting him that brought him to the JL watchtower, and which is the convergence point of this two stories, what the first convergence point. And it gets a little confusing. If Darkseid is diminished because he is a constant spread out among the multiverse or omniverse, why would cutting off the multiverse cause the surge? Our assumption is cutting off the multiverse just meant having no access to it. So unless the DC universe multiverses are all connected to this Earth, the prime universe or something, and by cutting them off, they are destroyed. And so a consolidation happens because Darkseid is a universal constant, so everything comes back to him. I think that is what happened. And Darkseid was not aware of his own purpose until this point, that he's a counterpoint to Hope. And because he's a constant in the omniverse, the larger that omniverse is, the weaker he became. He rejected that notion somehow, and in doing so, died and was reborn only in the absolute universe, which we learn in the alpha part of this issue was previously an unfinished universe. So since he's a constant and there's only one of him now, we are supposed to believe he's at his most powerful, I think. Well, which leads me to a couple of questions. One, who is now the counterpoint to Hope in the current DC universe or the main DC universe? Um, because Darkseid is gone, right? And does the new counterpoint has any linkage to Darkseid? Um, Two, how is it possible that he only exists in one of the multiverse if he is a universal constant? And three, is the absolute line of books going to be just like dark and bleak as previewed? And then four, where is Booster Gold? Actually, I think the right question for Booster Gold might be when. If that is indeed Darkseid's Legion of Superheroes, as evidenced by the Omega on the ring, he is in the future of the Absolute Universe. As for question three, look for our review of Absolute Batman and Wonder Woman with the link above there somewhere and in the description box below when we post them. As for question one, we will just have to wait and see. And question two, he has a miracle machine. The alpha part of the issue is drawn by Sampere, while the omega part by Craig. And I think both artists were well chosen to visually convey opposites. Like Sampere's art has like finer line work, while Craig's art tended towards like thicker stroke, conveying an overall more oppressive feeling. The colors also plays an important part. Brighter, lighter colors were used in the alpha part of the story as opposed to the omega part, which is darker and has a lot of blacks. I like the differentiation. Both artists also excelled in drawing multiple characters. I especially love the double page, kind of half splash page of a large number of characters in the watchtower. Sempre's art reminded me a lot of Jerry Otway's art, with a touch of realism in the facial expression. And his action scenes are pretty good too. I think Craig's action scenes are a little bit more dynamic. Um, his art is a little more stylized, which may not be everyone's cup of tea. But I really like it when with how he used like blacks, such as in these panels of like Darkseid's face, and then the light and shadow in that panel with Eclipso. His art does not look as finished as Sampere's, but I think the rawness of the art works very well with the darker story. So, if Alpha is hope and Omega is the counterpoint to that, the art works. Yep. So, as an occasional reader of DC Comics, this is quite a fun issue. There are parts which are a little confusing, but I chalk it up to my unfamiliarity with the DC universe. But the plot is not difficult to follow. I would rate this a 3.75 out of 5. I agree. The art is lovely too, right? I just want to add that because we are not regular DC readers, we will be somewhat blind to characters' voices that are off. So this is based mainly on the plot and the art. So if you are kind of on the fence about jumping in for whatever reason, I would say give this a chance. If you enjoy this video, please leave us a like and subscribe. Please share this with your friends and comment below. Thanks, and Tyler out.